Wait, you're probably like the only person besides the NFL execs who's guaranteed to be on the field at the end of the game. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that wild?
That's
For
awesome.
sure.
You're a very powerful woman.
Well, there's.
Okay, we're like the only people in the office. It is Tuesday, February 7th. This is episode 256 of the Token CEO podcast. I'm Erika. This is a podcast where we talk about life at Barstool, work, current events, more work, and work, basically. So thank you for listening. This podcast is brought to you by Omega Accounting Solutions. We love the folks at Omega Accounting Solutions. They're down in the Super Bowl with everyone from Barstool, besides the three of us who are sitting here. I legitimately think like it's us and Erika in this office right now. What's awesome about Omega Accounting Solutions is that they are small business champions through and through. They care about their customers, they care about small businesses, and what they bring to the table is expertise around accounting and finances that can help small businesses be most successful. These guys are also experts at the Employee Retention Credit, called the ERC, which is a tax credit that can give you up to $26,000 per employee if you employed people during COVID. So the long and short of it is that if you employed people during COVID, you could be eligible for up to $26,000 back. It's called the Employee Retention Credit. Omega Accounting Solutions are absolute and total experts at it. And the deadline to qualify for this or to file for it begins on March 31st. So you got to get going. If you call 1-800-300-9ERC, that's 1-800-300-9ERC, 800-300-9ERC, or visit omegataxcredits.com/Barstool Sports, you can find out more. Okay, so what's going on here? We have everyone down at the Super Bowl. I'm not going this year because I'm trying to make a point that if you don't have something important and direct to do at the Super Bowl, you should not be there. So just saving the company and Penn National a little bit of money, so that's good. Also trying to get this Penn deal done. So the Penn acquisition of Barstool closes next week, so we have a lot to do. I signed all the papers yesterday. Just a weird feeling, you know what I mean? I was like, oh God. But anyway, so it's kind of a big week. We have a special guest today. So Donna Kelsey is joining us. She is the mom of, I think, the first time in Super Bowl history where two brothers are playing against one another, and she is the mom of those two men. So Travis Kelce plays for the Chiefs. Jason Kelce plays for the Eagles. Donna Kelsey is their mom. We're going to grill her on what helped her raise two premier NFL players. We also have an awesome episode later this week on Thursday with Jamie Erdahl from Good Morning Football. So you'll learn even more about the big game, as they call it. I hate how we have to say the big game. It's just so pathetic. It just makes me cringe. And then, as always, we have some Q&A. So that's kind of what we're doing today. All right, so we have Donna Kelsey with us. You may have heard about Donna. She's the one who's wearing the jersey of like half Chiefs, half Eagles. So for our boardroom today, we're having Donna Kelsey join us. And Donna is going to talk to us about being Super Bowl bound. I'm sure she's in Arizona at this point. I wonder where Donna lives. Does she live in Ohio? They're from Ohio. Anyways, Donna's going to talk to us about having two Super Bowl sons.
How you doing? Are you in Arizona?
I'm doing really well. Really well. It's fun. It's been a fun week.
It's an awesome week. This is the first time this has ever happened in history. Doesn't that seem crazy to you?
I know. It's just really wild. I've only had a few days to let it all sink in because it's only been like a week and a half, and to get ready to come here, and that's the issue with when you were in the playoffs, you just don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you really had to get your shit together like in the last week.
Oh yeah.
And you had to like
it's a long time. Yeah, about 9 days. So.
But wait, So I heard you're now rooting for the Eagles because you have grandkids on the Eagles side. Is that true?
It's not. It's like I'll be cheering for both of them. It's just, Jason always says that I favor the baby of the family, Travis. And so I was trying to tell him that he's just as important as Travis is. So
it's just like having like two 7-year-olds. Like this isn't that
seriously
different. 35-year-olds.
It's exactly what it's like when I listen to him on the podcast. It's just like, listen to him bicker at the dining room table. I swear.
Yeah.
Same.
So all right, what's your secret? Like, how'd you get two NFL players, like NFL greats? What'd you do?
I think I instilled in them, and I think their father did also, about just making sure that they really believed in themselves, and whatever they loved to do. I just kept telling them, do whatever you absolutely love to do, because if you love to do something, you'll be really good at it.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter whether it's music, art, sports, it has no, but if you love something, you'll just get really good at it. So that's all I did.
Were they like puppies as kids? Like, did they have to be, they're so furry now, but like, did they have to run?
Yeah, they were very active. They were constantly jumping on furniture and, parkouring before it was even a name.
Okay. And you were quite an athlete yourself, right? Have I read that right?
I was, but it was before Title IX, and I didn't really, there was no infrastructure for women in sports. You were lucky if you could do intramurals.
Yeah.
And maybe field hockey, which hurt really bad on the shins. But yeah. So.
And you were a field hockey player?
I did a little bit of field hockey. I played basketball. I did run track for the school, and that you can do, they're both men and women can do that. So I did do that, won a few medals. So I was pretty good at running. Yeah.
That's great. Who's the better runner? Jason or Travis?
Oh, they're both really fast. They are. I would say Jason has a faster start.
Okay.
But Travis, once he gets going, can run longer distances, and he can pull away from people.
Okay. So you got one that's like hot out the gate, and then you got the other that's going to like get you on the last leg.
Yeah, I would say.
Did you have dogs when they were kids?
Oh, yeah. We had a Gordon setter. She was absolutely gorgeous, and she would take off, and we had to chase her around the neighborhood with a minivan. She could jump over the fence.
Okay.
And then we would just call her, and she'd jump into the minivan, and we'd get her back home. So she would do that once. We'd go around the block. She would go out for her run, and then we'd bring her back home, and she was fine for a week.
I love that. And so when you think about your daughter-in-law is pregnant, about to have a baby, gonna be sitting with you at the game with her OBGYN. What do you think about that? Are you like, you're crazy, or are you into it?
There's no way, just like Jason or Travis, if they were injured, there's no way they're going to miss this game. And like Kylie, she wants to be there and enjoy this with her husband and with her family. There's no way she's going to miss this. And, they've taken every precaution.
Yeah.
They've also, she's not due until later on. And so I think she's okay. She should be fine. It might
be amazing if she had a baby, if like they won and then she had a baby right there in the stands. That's what I'm rooting for.
No, don't say that.
So amazing.
Don't put that out in the universe.
Talk about first times. That'd be amazing. No, I'm sure she'll be great.
Funny. Yeah, we don't want to.
You're like, just tuck it in for a little bit longer.
Yeah, stadiums aren't the cleanest places. So
no, I would agree with that. I wouldn't want to have a baby in an NFL stadium.
No.
Not the worst place, but also not the best. Seats very tight. Like
for sure.
Okay, so what are you going to do after the game?
There's definitely people will be on the field.
Yeah.
So you're only allowed to go on the field if your son wins. So the other one won't be there, so that's the sad thing. They just go off and go into their locker room.
But
so I can't be two places at the same time, and I want to enjoy the festivities and the ceremony, but I will definitely see both boys at their post parties, in their respective hotels.
Yeah.
Both of them afterwards for sure.
Wait, you're probably like the only person besides the NFL execs who's guaranteed to be on the field at the end of the game. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that wild?
That's
for
awesome.
Sure.
You're a very powerful woman.
Well, there's only a few people that are allowed on the field. And Jason will probably have his wife and his two girls. So I don't know how how many credentials you can have to get on the field. So we'll have to see. But I know I'll be there for Travis because I'm the, dad and I will be there. So.
Well, then we probably should root for Travis because with Jason, we're not going to get a spot.
I think Jason kind of, made fun of him and said, "I can't believe you didn't get credentials for mom after the championship for the NFC." And he said, "Well, there's only so many people allowed on the field." He says, "I don't care. I tell them I want my mom on the field." But Jason plays by the rules. Travis always bends them.
Oh, okay. That's how it goes. Okay. I'm a root for Travis. And are you a party animal? Like, are you fired up to go to both parties or does that just make you tired? How do you feel about that?
I'm up for enjoying everything. My adrenaline's really high. I'm enjoying everything.
Yeah.
So, the time difference is a little bit of a quirk, but besides that, I'm having a great time.
It's so weird.
I'm not a super party animal. Won't be up till 2 or 3 o'clock or 4 a.m, but I'll be up late. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, have an awesome Super Bowl. Have a great, I know we're not supposed to say that, but have a great big game.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
It's going to be awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much for doing this.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so that was Donna. Before we get into Q&A, let's talk about MVMT. MVMT has been a partner of Barstool Sports forever. We love MVMT. Having a great watch can change a whole bunch of situations. I'm watching Narcos right now. Love Narcos. I know I'm like 17 years too late on watching Narcos. And Tata, who is Pablo Escobar's wife, the way her watch dangles off her wrist as she's like escaping escape house to the next escape house to the next escape house and trying to survive a Colombian drug war. I loved how her watch looked. I really did. Her watch looked really nice. Anyways, a great watch can enhance any number of situations, including running from the government. Just kidding. But what's great about a watch is that not only can it help you tell time, but it also helps you look polished and buttoned up. It makes a statement about who you are. It's a great piece of jewelry and also super functional. Why MVMT makes great watches? One is that they are designed by a team of weekend mavericks who know what it means to go from 9 to 5 work days to 5 to 9 good times with every adventure in between. Their elegant, precise Japanese watch movements and industry-leading materials from complex ceramics to sophisticated automatics, solar-powered dials to upcycled ocean plastic cases. This is a lot of words that are very descriptive to describe a watch. MVMT has always been the epitome of bang for your buck with huge value and style both your wrist and your wallet will love. For Valentine's Day, you want to get that special someone something, get them an MVMT watch. They're having a huge sale, and you can save big on your best Valentine's Day gift ever with 20% off a MVMT.com watch. If you go to MVMT.com and use code TOKEN, you can get 20% off your watch, which is the perfect gift for Valentine's Day. All right, let's do Q&A. First question. I got a new boss this year, 2023, who is rating my 2022 performance because my previous boss is no longer with the company. How do I make sure I get the rating I deserve when he wasn't around for any of my work last year? Ooh, great question. So first of all, I think the biggest note to self on this is don't wait till your review to share and document your performance. So I worked for this woman at Yahoo. She was one of those fabulous, direct speaking, ass kicking women who just drank too much Chardonnay and then offended every client we had on the face of the earth. But she did give me this great piece of advice, which is that if you are managing your employees' feedback only on an annual review, you are a shitty manager because review feedback and feedback in general is something you should give to someone every single day. And I tend to agree with that. But I also think it's true if you're the person being reviewed. Why wait for your manager at the end of the year? Why wait for your manager to quit and you get a new boss and then you're like, shit, no one knows how awesome I am. So one thing you could do is every week, that seems a little bit aggressive, or more likely every month, just give a quick, like, here's what I accomplished this month. Here's the results that it yielded. This is why it was great. Do you have any feedback? I would imagine that your new boss in this scenario has something to fall back on. So probably notes from your last manager. Maybe you do 360 reviews. Maybe they'll get feedback from your old boss's boss. So another note to self, make sure your boss's boss knows what you do. But the biggest thing I would do to make sure your new boss understands your value is to show your value. Ask for a one-on-one with your new boss. Explain everything you've learned at the company, everything you've achieved at the company, your aspirations, things you're working on, and then before you do all that, listen and ask that person what they care about, what they value, what they're interested in, what their vision is. So then you can put all your stuff and all your greatness in the context of what that person cares about. I think that's the best way to make sure not only you get a great rating, but you have a great relationship with your new boss and you're a person on their team that's in great standing. All right, second question. How do you handle the feedback of being told you might be too direct? I'm a young female in an operations position and most everything relies on me to get done and implemented. I'm really proud of the voice and courage I have shown over the last year, but with that feedback, I worry that I should tone it down. Oof. I'm like the A1A worst person to ask this because I'm too direct, I'm too blunt, kind of inappropriate. Make jokes at the wrong time, maniacal and relentless, annoying, all those things. So I think there's a way to be direct and also to be reasonable and fair. And just because you were given the feedback that maybe you've been too direct doesn't mean that you shouldn't be an advocate for yourself in your role, or you should stop being so straightforward and forthright. I would handle the feedback if someone was like, you're too direct, which I'm sure everyone would like to tell me all the time. I kind of sometimes think my style is terrible in general. And in those moments, what I tend to think about is what's the best way to be direct? I don't think it's being direct that's the problem. I think companies should be more direct. I'm reading a really interesting book right now called Radical Candor, which is all about directness and how we need more directness at work. But you got to pick your spots of when and how you're direct. Instead of shaming people in a big room or making a big bombastic statement, maybe you talk to somebody one-on-one. Instead of writing bitchy emails when you're fried and kind of exacerbated and everybody's pissed you off, maybe you pick up the phone and have a conversation with someone about what you're looking for and why, and what you're concerned about and why. So I wouldn't dial it back in terms of who you are, what you care about, the standard you have, the commitment you have to your work, and obviously your responsibility, which is for a lot of things. What I would do is, if you're being given the feedback that you are too direct, ask for more specifics. How are you too direct? What's an example of when you've been too direct? Are there examples when you haven't been too direct, or you've been just the right amount of direct? So get those specifics. And then I think if you put that together with some common sense and just a quick pause before you speak or pause before you hit send, I think you'll be just fine.
I have a question off that. Do you think that women are told they're more direct more frequently because it comes off bitchier?
I don't know. Do you think so?
Sometimes. I think direct women are oh, they're kind of bitchy. If someone's no,
I think people don't like powerful women.
No.
I feel like when
it's in their psyche, they don't realize it. I cut you off.
Sorry, you're good. No, I was just gonna say when a woman is being powerful, direct, it's oh shit, she's a bitch or she's rude. But when a man is doing it, it's oh, he's in charge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely a double standard. I also think women can be perceived as being shrill or nagging or whatever. But I mostly think if you're just calm when you're direct, you're fine. Man or woman, any gender, it doesn't matter your gender. If you're calm and you're clear and you're non-emotional but direct, I think that's probably the best way to be. I think when people get emotional, men I think can be super patronizing and it's so fucking annoying. And then women can just be bitchy and then that's annoying too. So it's don't be like that and don't be like that. Just be calm and direct. All right, let's talk quickly about Lume. I always have BO. I mean, I just perpetually am like a walking, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a walking case of BO. What's incredible about Lume, I'm very curious about this, is that they want to help you smell better naked. And the big reveal here is that it's not just your underarms that stink. I always have BO because I feel like I wear wool and then I don't wear anything under it. And then I just sweat when I'm walking to work, stink all day. What's cool about Lume is that they have whole body deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. They were created by an OBGYN who discovered and proved in clinical testing that the vagina is not to blame for day-to-day odor below the belt. The poor vagina just gets blamed for everything. I mean, she's just on the hot spot. As a result, she developed Lume, which is a uniquely formulated pH-balanced deodorant. It's aluminum-free, skin-safe, and clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours. It's whole-body deodorant, the first of its kind. It's seriously safe. You can use it anywhere on your body. It was created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal body odor was and how body odor is being misdiagnosed and mistreated, and it is not your vagina's fault. Lume is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. That's amazing. So basically you apply this thing and then you're great for 3 days. I love it. Unlike some deodorants that try to mask odors with fragrance, Lume is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts, more like a pre-deodorant. A pre-odorant is what they call it. Lume is aluminum-free, baking soda-free, and paraben-free. That sounds amazing. And you can choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like tangerine, lavender sage, or toasted coconut. Stop blaming your vagina. Control your body odor everywhere and anywhere with @Lume Deodorant. That's LumeDeodorant. And you can get $5 off your starter pack, which is over 40% off, with promo code TOKEN at lumedeodorant.com/token. #LumePod. All right, my manager has selected me to take over her role once she retires. This is something we've been discussing over the last few months during career growth discussions, and the expectation was that this would be in about 2 to 3 years. She recently informed me that she's now planning to retire at the end of this year. I'm still relatively early in my career compared to many of my current colleagues. Given this and my shorter time frame, what are some tips you have on how to prepare for transitioning to management, especially around transitioning from being a colleague with someone to being their manager? So first of all, congratulations. You're the succession plan. That's got to feel great. Stop thinking about yourself as having a shorter amount of experience or less experience or being younger or feeling inferior to your peers. If your peers were so great, they would have been chosen as the successor. So there's clearly something to you that makes you the right candidate or the right person to be in charge. The most awkward, worst transition ever is to manage your peers. It's like, I think it's one of the hardest things to do at work. And the reason is that you're supposed to be the same as everybody and then you're their boss, which just changes the dynamic, changes the relationship. They're like, oh, you think you're better than me? And you're like, no, I actually just am the boss. So I think the biggest thing I would do is make sure you're clear with your new boss, your current manager's boss, what their expectations are, what they're looking for, what they value. Think for a little bit about what are your expectations? What do you value? What do you want your team to be like? How do you want people to describe you? What kind of mojo do you want around you? And make sure you're really clear on that. Write that down. I think the next thing to do is to listen and to acknowledge the awkwardness. I would go to my peer and I'd be like, hey, we used to be peers. Now I'm your manager. Obviously this is awkward. I feel, don't be afraid to be like, I think it's awkward, but let me ask you a question. What do you want from me? What do you want me to do for you? What do you care about? What do you not want to happen? What are you worried about? And you could share your fears, worries, concerns, things you want to, but just being open and honest and having that dialogue is really important. And then when you get the job at the end of the year, make sure you set a vision, you communicate it, you set a super high standard, and you hold people to it. And then you're going to have to fire one of your peers, and that's when it's going to get really awkward, but you can call back at that point. All right, that's it. You can subscribe to our YouTube. You can follow me at Erika, or I think at Erika_. You can follow Token CEO. Be sure to watch this. Can you say the out loud, or you just can't even say? You cannot say the word. I'm going to say the word. Unless you guys want to bleep it out, that would be funny. Yeah. Okay, so because we can't say, we'll just say the big game. So good luck watching the big game. My story on the big game was, all right, my mother we lived in this house, and my parents did not splurge on things around the house ever. I remember we painted a wall once, and I used an entire can of paint on the one wall. For some reason, I got the job to do the painting, which was a terrible decision on their part. Anyways, my mom was so pissed because I used I wasted it. I made the paint so thick. Anyway, so my mom in the same room ended up getting a white carpet, which was, again, horrible decision making for my parents. And our family tradition was that on the Super Bowl, you eat chili. So that's fine. So my mom made chili. It wasn't very good, just being totally honest. But a bunch of red kidney beans. I now hate kidney beans. And ground meat, whatever, tomato sauce, whatever. That was basically it. And then we used to have those Italian seasonings in a little jar, you know what I mean? Anyways, we get downstairs, and the first thing my brother does is just dumps the chili on the white car. And my mom had been bitching at us the entire time. So we're all geared up to watch the Super Bowl. We had one of those TVs where you had to change the clicker. Somebody had to get up off the couch. Nobody who's listening to this has any idea what I'm talking about. But I always think about Super Bowl as the night Ben Ayers spilled the chili. So that's it for today's episode. We will see you back here on Thursday.